Greetings, fellow humans, and welcome to Sam and Max Hit the Books. I'm Max.
I'm Sam.
And we're here today to talk about the comics that came out on the 2nd of October in 2019. I want to start real quick, though, with a brand new segment for our show. That's right, it's the first drop report. We just wanted to let you know that unless I get some comments on this video from somebody who would like to hear us talk about either of these titles, we have officially dropped both Deceased and Berserker Unbound, so we will not be reviewing any more issues of those unless there's some kind of outcry. But moving right into today's reviews, and there are a lot of them, we're going to start with the first and only issue of Absolute Carnage, the Immortal Hulk. That's by Al Ewing and Felipe Andrade.
The only one.
So, this issue was really cool. And I kind of feel like, okay, for one thing, it's almost more important to Immortal Hulk than it is to Absolute Carnage.
That's true. That I like.
Because we got to see a lot of the way that the different personalities are interacting with each other. And we got to see, Al Ewing does a great job of letting us know exactly when in Immortal Hulk this is happening. Because as soon as we see the scenes where like Banner's checking in on them, like it's all so clear. He's doing such a good job of tying here.
Definitely.
And I love the way that Bruce thinks it's all about him at first, because Thunderbolt Ross happens to have been buried in the same graveyard as the actual target of Carnage, which was what's his name, that gangster guy. Who was Venom for a little while. I don't know, but he was...
I don't know.
Yeah. Terrible.
But yeah, no, that was good. The dark room that they're all in, talking to each other. It's cool.
I like that Joe has, like, now a human aspect instead of a Hulk-like aspect.
No longer a big gray guy.
And, I understood what was happening from the first page. You got what was happening on the first page of this, right?
Oh, definitely.
Mostly because of the note right at the beginning on the bottom that says, this takes place after the events of Absolute Carnage 3. So, they could only be referring to one thing. And, yeah, so it's awesome. It's really cool. It's cool to see what the current star of Immortal Hulk, Devil Hulk, actually looks like amongst the Hulks.
Yeah, very different.
Very not Hulk-like.
Yeah.
They're all talking to Venom. They're deciding.
Yeah, if they're gonna let Venom join with them.
Right, as be another personality in the mix. That's all it is, because it basically ends with the same last page that Absolute Carnage ended with.
Yes.
And I've seen some of the character design work that they did for doing Hulk Venom, and he's never going to get fully covered in the symbiote. Like, that's the whole design, is that there's not enough symbiote to cover the whole Hulk.
Oh, that's interesting.
I call bullshit on that, though.
Yeah, because symbiote can make more and less of itself.
It bulks Eddie up so much sometimes. Too Hulk-like size sometimes.
Too Hulk-like size, it's true.
So I understand why they're doing it, to give him a unique look, but I'm kind of calling BS on that.
Yeah, well, maybe it's not about Hulk's size. Maybe it's about his power.
That is true.
Obviously, he does have power, or they wouldn't be making that decision right there in this comic.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to be spread too thin, I guess, if you're going to be taking hits from powered-up Carnage.
Yeah.
But I thought this was a real cool issue. Perfect tie-in, really, because it both served its own title and the crossover without being necessary. Probably, like, you could totally read Absolute Carnage and not need this at all.
True.
I'm giving it a 7.
All right, I give it a 6. I still liked it. Next up, we're going to be talking about the issue of Immortal Hulk that came out this week, issue 24, Al Ewing, Joe Bennett.
Woo!
And yeah, this was an action-packed issue. Really liked all of the fighting that was going on in both, hell at the beginning with, but once we get back to reality, what's going on with Hulk is he's melting and he's fighting Abomination. It's just top notch.
I almost couldn't look at Hulk.
I know.
A lot of the time in this, it was so nasty.
It really is. He really is melting.
And it's
then peeling.
Peeling chunks. Like, that's the effect of the skin that peeled off is just so gross. And then he's throwing chunks of skin.
He's throwing chunks of skin with acid on them Passers-by. Well, soldiers.
Yeah.
Not passers-by.
Enemy soldiers.
Yes. They are the bad guys. So, that's fun. And taking out General 14, everybody turning on General 14 at the end makes sense.
I'm sorry, I have to cut in on this really quick, because we didn't talk about one hilarious thing in the previous issue, the one we just talked about, which is that in order to get somewhere fast, Bruce has Betty crush him up into a little ball of guts.
Make me smaller.
And the way that they draw the panel with just the floppy leg hanging out of the ball of meat, that was so gross. Anyway, move on.
Oh yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, because when it's just like, what if you pulled me small?
So gross.
That's disturbing.
Like, this new version of Hulk and Bruce Banner is fucking terrifying.
Oh yeah. But in a lot of ways, it makes Hulk a lot more dimensional than he has been.
Oh yeah, he's not Hulk Smash, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot to it, and
General Fortian is one of the Gamma people now, so he gets to go through the green door to the hell below, where the one below all resides, just like all the other Gamma people, and we get to see Samson between resurrections.
Right, he's there all skinny.
And he kind of remembers the last time he was here, but not really, and he's tried to stay, but now he's going to go back, and...
Oh yeah.
Oh, creepy stuff.
Creepy stuff. But I guess, I'm not done with General. And Hulk sitting on the throne at the end.
Exact same pose as General 14.
Yeah, in the steel throne.
The steel throne, just like the iron. I didn't catch the Iron Throne thing there, but yeah, you're right. The steel throne.
The steel throne.
And then the epilogue, boy.
And then the epilogue.
Because at the beginning of the comic, we get some Galactus origin. We see Galactus surviving the death of the former universe and being made into Galactus by merging with the being at the center of creation, the one above all. And then at the end, in the epilogue, we get the sequel, where it was going to be Franklin Richards, who was supposed to be the one.
Right, but it ain't Franklin Richards.
Right, the universe's backup plan was Eternity Man? Or... he says what his name is, yeah. Mr. Immortal.
Ah, yes. Mr. Immortal.
The backup plan, just because he couldn't die.
Scary.
But yeah, that Banner's there, Hulk's there. And the thing that Hulk is now...
Right, that's, you don't think it can get more disturbing. And then you get this Hulk blob coming out of Banner legs with Banner arms,
pulling his mouth
open.
He actually weirdly looks a lot like Parallax from the Green Lantern comics.
That's funny.
He's got the multiple rows of teeth inside of his jaw with an energy thing. It's very creepy.
It's very creepy. I'm not even fully sure what's going on right there.
Yeah, right.
It's just so crazy. I like this a lot. I give it a 7.
Yeah, this is awesome. I'm giving this one an 8. It would be a 7, but with that ending, it was just such a holy shit.
Right? Yeah, that's definitely what we're going to be coming up on.
All right. So next up, we're going to be talking about issue 12, the season finale of The Green Lantern by Grant Morrison and Liam Sharp. And boy howdy.
Yeah, this really ties a lot of things together.
All right, we get revelations to the mysteries. We know who the traitor within the Green Lanterns was. We get the revelation about Controller Mu, how he's or Mu, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Is it Mu?
Say Mu.
How is it pronounced in the Greek alphabet, the 12th letter of the Greek alphabet?
I think it's Mu.
Okay, yeah. We get this multiple versions of him revelation that he can't die because he's basically, it seems like he's some sort of multi-intelligence that spreads among different bodies, which I went back and looked at issue 1 again today, and on the last page of issue 1, where they show us that page where the controllers are taking out the heart of the anti-lantern, there's 4 controller moves on the page right there. They told us right there.
Nice.
But yeah, this is...
The Quaman.
The Quaman.
Quaman is Hal Jordan.
Quaman is reverse Hal Jordan, and the lettering is genius. The way everything he says is backwards.
Oh, yeah.
Reverse Sinestro, who I didn't notice when this character first showed up. His color palette is reversed. How Sinestro usually has a black bodysuit with a purple collar.
Oh, nice.
So that's another one they were telling us from the second he showed up what his deal was.
Yep.
And I love how this Sinestro really is like the opposite of Sinestro in Justice League right now, who's like a maniacal space Hitler. And this one's just like, hey, I'll do whatever for a price, but I'm pretty friendly.
Right.
David Niven ass looking. The battle with the Aquaman is brutal.
It really is.
And it's got this great countdown because we know Hal Jordan's going to die because of the narration countdown letting us know that Hal Jordan has like 13 minutes to live or whatever.
Yeah.
And we get the countdown of his shield degrading, and as soon as his shield degrades and he makes contact with his antimatter opposite, the Aquaman, it will create an antimatter explosion.
Oh, yeah.
There's so many things happening, man.
It is a lot of things happening.
He's getting whisked away by the Black Stars before the antimatter explosion can happen, and he has only enough power left to be a pawn in the plan of the controllers, and the controller, like, even really turns the screws on. It's like, we came up with this amazing plan. It took us seconds to conceive this plan. And like Hal Jordan, the universe's ultimate, play-it-by-ear guy, who now has to deal with A, the controllers and their ultimate plans, and B, his only chance seems to be doing the one thing Hal Jordan has never done, which is exactly what the Guardians told him to do. We even get that page with the Guardians where they're like, all right, we know Controller Mu's plan is entering its final phase.
Right, and now Jordan has to do exactly what we say, and the rest is up to him.
The rest is up to him, and that's rough for the Guardians, because Hal Jordan never does exactly what they say.
True. As they mentioned.
And, he has to use the miracle machine, the wishing machine, the first version of the machine that Superman uses in Final Crisis to wish for a happy ending and conclude that series.
Yeah, well, we'll see what he wishes.
Oh, I think we know what he wishes. To be continued in Black Stars #1 this November.
Yeah.
And another good epilogue in this issue, just like Hulk. We get Aquaman back to his full power, I guess.
Right, back in his reality, I figure.
Right, with his own power battery reinstalled. Because, like I said, I went back and re-looked at issue 1, and in that issue, Aquaman is looking a lot more like this, where it's just like Hal Jordan with kind of like a Terminator machine half face. He isn't all monstrous the way he's shown up later.
Right.
I think we have to assume that his body going crazy like that may have had something to do with not having his power battery in him.
Yeah, probably, and that's why the skin was peeling off of the robot.
Right. And if that was his power level when he didn't have his power battery, though.
Right. Super fast, super strong.
Super threat, baby.
Oh, yeah. And legitimately scary.
Legitimately scary. And then we see the reversed Lantern Corps. That's going to be... It's going to be coming for him probably in season 2, I'm guessing.
Yeah, they look cool.
They're also scary. It's all the dark versions of all the lanterns we've come to know and love in this run.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's this is it. This is the good stuff. This is why we do this. I'm giving this a 9.
Okay, I give it an 8.
Cool. Moving on.
Next, we're going to be talking about the newest issue of Savage Avengers. That's issue number 6. By Gary Dugan and Kim Giacinto.
Sure. Your guess is as good as mine in this case.
And since the Savage Avengers split in the previous issue after only just coming together, now we just get an entire issue of what happened with Conan and the Punisher.
Yes. And the art is a big switch up from Mike Deodato on the first arc.
That's true, and I actually like this a lot for them going through the Savage Lands and the swamps, and it's very colorful, which is great. You know, they're doing some cool stuff. I love when Conan picks up one of Punisher's machine guns, and after using it, it's like, this is no weapon for a warrior, and turns it around and uses the back end of it to crush a thing's skull.
Yeah, the raptors they're fighting.
Yeah, the raptors.
Did you like it when they made Skyrim clothes?
I mean, yeah. They need to be warm, so of course they would make huge, bulky cloaks.
The helmets, though, the helmets that they were wearing, were cracking me up. It's like, dang, Conan, You really made some cool helmets for them in there.
Oh, right, with the horns and everything.
Yeah, he went all the way, man.
That is true. They worked all day on those clothes, and they came out great.
Made Punisher a couple of bone cleaver weapons because Conan used up all his ammo.
Yeah, pretty cool. And also the panels as they're walking, and it seems like they got a ton of stuff, and then as they go. Actually, no, that's just the coffins.
That's the coffins, and they're with them. But yeah, I see what you're saying. How
but actually they just because of the rickety bridge,
right?
It's a journey, and it looks cool. It's a nice journey,
and it even gets that little bit of meaning near the end when they're clasping hands, and Frank's like, "Thanks for helping me drag my family all this distance," and Conan's like, "You've been dragging them behind you far longer than that, friend."
And Punisher asks about Crom, if Crom would disapprove of that. Kind of just like, fuck Crom.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they really had a cool bromance.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what made this issue pretty alright.
And I cannot wait for how this is going to factor in.
Oh, right? Doombots?
Doombots, baby. Doombots doing Doom things.
Right? Following them? Pretty good. I like this a lot. I give it a 7.
Cool. I liked it a lot, too. Pretty good little issue. Sort of, I wouldn't call it filler. More transitory.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. I'm giving it a 6.
Nice.
All right, moving on to a book I'm really curious to get your thoughts on. This is the first issue of the Image Comics relaunch of Copra by Michel Fiffe. He's writing it, he's drawing it, he's coloring it, he's lettering it. This is all just the straight shot of Michel. I've read all the previous Copras, and even I'm always, whenever I pick up a new volume of Copra, I'm like, okay, who are these people? What exactly is happening? Like, oh yeah, that's right. Boomerang killed Deadshot's family in this. Right, Suicide Squad. That's Deadshot.
Suicide Squad.
The thing I want to talk about mainly, though, and I want to know if you noticed it too, is how much better the art is in this compared to Michel Fiffe's G.I. Joe series that we read a couple of months ago.
It is better in this one, that's true.
I don't know if he's just more comfortable working with his own characters, or maybe he spent more time on this, because there's real detailed rendering sometimes that you just weren't getting.
That is true. The faces, the figures, and the action are all a little souped up compared to that G.I. Joe. The backgrounds still leave a lot to the imagination.
Yeah, he's definitely a big fan of the blank background, the single color tones that are playing off, across many of the actual colors on the characters too.
Right.
Very little on the walls, or there might be a sort of a drawing of a street maybe, but then a lot of white space too instead of drawing in a street.
Right.
It's definitely
that makes it a little hard for me to follow.
I can see where you're saying that, and that's important because this is an action book. There's action happening all the time.
Yeah, I'd say for most of this, I was pretty lost up until right here when they get to the ARM headquarters.
Right, where the villain is having his villain speech and sort of explaining what he's doing.
Right.
And I was also very appreciative that after the cliffhanger happens and poor Whir is being controlled with his new metal arm to seemingly be murdering his teammates.
Right, once again, arm all over the place.
I liked the old school full-page character bios we got at the end with, here's this person, here's what their deal is, here's what you need to know. That's all cool and normal. It's good to have it. They don't always throw that in lately. But then when we got the single panel, single sentence summary of the entire series so far, I was like, that's a pretty cool move.
I didn't read that.
Yeah, even though I've read all of these, I'm reading them like, oh yeah, that happened? Oh man, you really would have had to read that to get what they're saying in that panel.
Fair.
But I always have a pretty good time reading an issue of Copra. So I'm giving this one a 6.
Alright, I give it a 5. I enjoyed it, but like I said, I was lost for a lot of it.
Yeah, I can understand if this was your first time ever experiencing this plot and these characters, because it is a serial. Man,
right, there's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on. These characters have backstories.
All right, so now we're going to talk about issue 15 of Fantastic Four by Dan Slott and Paco Medina. Cool name.
Yeah, this issue was okay. I didn't love it. It was weird.
I mean, at first I'm thinking, what's going on? What am I reading? And I kept having to go back and be like, oh yeah, it's Fantastic Four.
I mean, it even does start with a note saying, like, what? Were you looking for the Fantastic Four? Well, keep reading, dear reader.
I skipped over that box too. So I wanted to get right into it. But yeah, you know, even so, it's like this is a weird place where I have very little context of what's going on.
Just some real generic superheroes doing superhero-y things, but
clearly not like Earth.
But Slott is making sure that this superhero team is a superhero team he designed in 2019. That's right, this dude with the beard has a woman's name. That's right, these two chicks are married.
Right, yeah. I mean, we get a lot of that. But then once the Fantastic Four shows up, it really comes into focus because then it's all just battle. And I love how we're still getting the dialogue from all of these aliens, while all of the Fantastic Four's dialogue is in this crazy speech, so that the only time you can actually understand is when the thing goes, it's clobbering time.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a lot of fun.
I did enjoy that. It felt very Star Trek-y to me.
Right, and then Reed coming out with his universal translator in order to stop the fighting is also pretty fun, you know. That's sci-fi right there.
That's what should happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Good stuff. We'll see more about Thing in the future. He got booted over the wall.
This always happens to him. He gets booted into whichever area has the roughest guys. And you know what? I bet that they're going to fight at first.
Right.
And then later, they're not going to fight.
Right, they're going to team up against the actual bad guys, the ones who are welcoming in the rest of the four, and telling them that they can never go home, and they are now married to this world with everybody else.
Yeah, it's like a Big Brother superhero world, where this guy, the Eye, who has no actual eyes, is the overseer of everything, and apparently has some kind of mind control?
I didn't get any mind control feelings. Just authoritarian.
And all these people are like brainwashed, not by any psychic or technological means, but they literally just believe that this is a good way for the world to go.
Right. And, you know, this guy is keeping his eyes on everything, so there can't be any organized resistance.
Right.
Other than the little bit of terrorism that they're fighting in the beginning before the Four show up.
Which almost seems like staged in a weird way.
Yeah, possibly. The way the bad guys are talking and the good guys are talking. Yeah. Overall, I enjoyed the issue. I give it a 6.
I'm going to give it a 5. I thought that the art was pretty good. I liked the colors, and the Fantastic Four looked good, and all the action was good action, and it was fine. It was 5. It was 5.
Cool.
All right, moving on to issue 80 of Batman by Tom King, drawn by John Romita Jr. this time, actually.
He does such a good job.
Oh, you really liked his art in this?
I really liked his art. I like the way he's doing Gotham.
Interesting. Well, I didn't love his art in this, honestly, but it was fine.
Eye to eye tonight.
Well, that's good, I think. This plot, man, that's the thing. Just all of a sudden, Batman's so good at everything. Just recuperating on the beach has just fixed everything.
He's back.
He's back, and they're beating up Two-Face and Pig, and
he has
Hush.
no plan to stop Daddy from killing his son.
He does have some kind of plan, but is his plan just, I don't think he'll kill Damian?
Right, no, that's what I mean when I say he has no plan. His plan is, hopefully he won't kill my son.
It's interesting because that lines up so perfectly, I just realized, with Batman's showdowns with Pig and Two-Face first and then Hush later, where Batman makes no attempt to dodge any of the shots coming at him. They just happen to miss him the first time around. Yep. And the second time around, the first time they do hit him, and then the second time Hush just happens to miss, but he came very close to shooting him right in the face, which would have been one of the few spots that Batman could have been shot and killed in.
Right? That would have ended this whole thing real quick.
And that just lines up so well with, hopefully they won't shoot me in the wrong spot, just lines up right with, hopefully Damian doesn't get shot by my dad, who's an insane psychopath.
Right? Yeah. And Batman, when they're like, "You're back," and he's like, "Hell yeah."
So
it's not Batman speak.
Is this really going to turn on Thomas Wayne Batman making the right decision? Because I hate that.
Yeah, no, that's no good.
That's not winning.
That's not Batman's plan.
And yeah, I didn't love Ramita's art on this, so I'm giving this a 2.
Alright, that's fair. I give it a 4.
Cool.
Alright. Moving on to issue 3 of Death's Head, which is by Teeny Howard and Kai Zama.
Still
as the previous ones were.
Yeah.
This is right in line with the other ones. I mean, lots of stuff is going on.
Lots of chatter.
Lots of chatter, that's true. Especially Hulkling and
Hawkeye?
Hawkeye? Yeah. Right, that's why I can never remember her name. Because she's Hawkeye. Yeah, lots of them talking about stuff. And up until now, I wasn't clear about Hulkling and his lover. I wasn't sure. His fiance. I didn't know that they weren't just roommates who happened to be really close friends.
Oh, that's funny.
Not having experienced these characters.
Right, yeah, I've read other Young Avengers.
So I wasn't necessarily surprised by that.
Except for Death's Head, this is basically a Young Avengers comic.
Right, yeah. There's a lot of that going on.
Yeah.
And, yeah, his fiance doing his magic and then like, nah, I can't do my magic anymore, is repeating things 3 times to make them so. That's a weird one.
It's interesting. I mean, I don't hate the plot about, like, oh, he's unsure of himself because he may not be a real in existence thing.
Right.
And the universe isn't sure if he's real or not, so it's been playing kid gloves with him in terms of magic repercussions.
Right, but now he's an adult
and now it's
no longer doing that.
And I'm vaguely interested in that. It's just, it feels like this is all very out of left field for the Death's Head comic.
Right, and that's the thing, is there's a clear difference between what's going on with the rest of them and Death's Head himself doing his thing, where he's just awesome.
He is very good.
He's brutal. He's quippy. It's nice.
I do enjoy his personality quite a bit.
Yeah. Like running into another version of himself on the floor that's broken, and he's just like, ugh. I mean, that's funny.
Gross.
Right. And, I like Death's Head a lot. The rest of it's just, it's filler.
Yeah, it's fine, but it does feel like the Young Avengers are crammed into this Death's Head comic to make it part of the Marvel Universe.
Right, exactly. And it's a little weird.
It's fine. That part's fine, but the art is very good. The art's very good.
The art's very good, and Death's Head is just so cool and funny. I give it a 5.
I'm also going to give it a 5.
Hey, there we go.
All right. Moving on to the 4th issue of Superman Up in the Sky by Tom King and Andy Kubert.
Oh my god.
This is the Tom Kingiest issue
of
Superman I've ever read because, okay, well, for starters, all full-page splashes for the first part.
Yep.
With full, just Superman, just word vomit of this thought process of blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. From a child's perspective, it becomes pretty clear early on.
The splash pages themselves by Mr. Kubert are excellent.
No, they look fantastic.
Every page of this, except for the Pigeons one, is a wonderful pinup.
Hey, the Pigeons one ain't bad.
The Pigeons one isn't bad, but that is a fillery page, my friend. It is very well drawn. And I do like all these images of Superman running. It's a surprisingly rare I mean, that's not surprising, but it's super rare to have just Superman running a lot.
Right, he usually doesn't have to run so much. If he's going that far, he flies.
He flies, right, because he's going to be efficient about things.
Right, and also the Flash looks fantastic.
Flash looks...
Oof. There's this other one where he's pulling ahead. I mean, it's just so good.
Cooper makes the modern Flash suit look awesome.
Yeah.
Like, he takes all those extra lines that they've added that the suit doesn't need and just made them wonderful. Yeah, no, it's good. And then we get to the part where, and this took me a long time to figure out what had happened and go back, because I'm like, okay, who's this dude Superman's with? Why is Superman dressed like this? I did not ken the lightning strike thing at first at all.
They split him in two?
It split him into Clark Kent and it split him into the full human and the full Kryptonian. And the full Kryptonian has such disdain for humanity.
Yeah,
I hate it.
Right?
And he's like, he doesn't like Ma and Pa Kent. And it's like, this wasn't good when it happened in Superman 3. That is, I think, famously considered one of the worst moments of Superman history is when, Clark Kent and Superman are duking it out in the junkyard.
See, I wasn't sure until Clark started berating Superman who this guy was. It's only at then that I realized that it was Clark, and then I was just like, why? And I was still kind of hoping that I was wrong.
Right, and I was like, okay, Superman's costume, that's a weird design choice. He's been in space for a while and made some changes. Like, well, I don't understand why the split created more costume. I mean, I get it. He's going for Silver Age wacky. I get it.
Yeah. I do like the way the cape comes down into the triangle on his chest. Yeah. As a design choice, I like that.
The design's fine. I can see that if Andy Kubert designed Injustice Superman, right. I get it. Like Superman the Tyrant, he has a big collar. I get it. Silver Age wackiness, some random ass lightning, okay. But then the comic itself is so dark and needy and serious and
right. And nobody ever told these guys, you can't save them all. But you can save that one.
And if the whole point of this whole series is like, does Superman have the willpower to continue searching for this girl? Like, even though everything seems hopeless? Another issue of stuff's bad's happening. Should he give up on the search for this girl?
Right. Should he run back home so he can keep home safe?
We know the answer to this question.
Yeah, no, we do.
It's
weird that it's a question.
I'm giving this a 2. That's 2 points for the art. 0 for the writing.
I give it 3 points for the art.
All right. I'm going to bump mine up to 3 points for the art. The art's very good.
It's so good. And all those splash pages are a treat, other than the fact that they're covered
with dialogue boxes.
Yeah.
Boxes.
Well, I mean, child thought process.
Child thought process. I understand.
I don't need that.
I understand these are comics for babies, but damn.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Now we're going to talk about something that's a little better. Issue 33 of Justice League by Scott Snyder and Redondo. Steve Redondo? James Tynion the Fourth is also with Scott Snyder on this one. I didn't catch that before, but usually when they're together, it's pretty good. And Bruno Redondo and Daniel Sampier are doing the art on this one.
Looked good.
It did look good. How did you feel about the historic merging of the Anti-Monitor, the Monitor, and the World Forger into hulking
You talking Ultra Monitor?
Ultra Monitor.
You talking to me about Ultra Monitor right now? I am pretty cool with it.
Right? Especially if he just sticks around and that's just how it is now, is this guy with his crazy scythe hammer and his awesome armor. It's totally cool.
A lot of very anime things have happened in this run. In fact, if you recall, remember Superman rocketing at light speed through multiple suns in order to deliver a punch to the World Forger several issues ago.
Oh yeah, totally. He escaped from the trap dimension.
Jorge Jimenez, and you got that one full page where it was Superman about to deliver the punch, but Pa Kent and John Kent were also like ghostly there, about to deliver like the punch with him.
Right, like the final battle with Cell.
Jorge Jimenez posted on Twitter that page was 1,000% an homage to that image of Goku charging up the Kamehameha with his son ghostly in the background. He just said straight up, yeah, that was that.
Well, holy shit. We got them actually acknowledging that they're drawing off Dragon Ball Z and Justice League.
And yeah, if the Monitor and Forager and Anti-Monitor want to Voltron it up all the time, but not always, either way, let's do it.
Right, fusion dance it up.
Exactly. No, very good time.
Yeah, I like that a lot. And the future stuff versus Brainiac 1 million. 1 million is awesome because I really like his design as well.
So many upgrades.
Yeah, the skull look is... I love that. Big robot skeleton, giant robot. It's very cool. Very creepy.
Yeah,
Hot Girl fighting the Apex Predator Luther, and Luther pumps himself up and then just gets a mace to the face.
And he's so distended.
This is the funniest panel, just in the bottom right corner right here. I love it.
Luther finally getting a real clobbering.
Right. It's almost a bitch slap. Because he's monologuing.
Quite enjoyable. And I really did enjoy that Hot Girl went too early. She's so mad.
Yeah, that's cool too, and that's a lot of power right there.
But they're already seeding that John is still going to be alive and able to be pulled out of Lex with their son from the fake reality, attempting to make psychic contact with him in there. So
right, so yeah, hopefully a separation comes, not too unexpected.
Yeah.
The Aquaman stuff, it's okay.
It's fine. It's fine. All the stuff with the Justice Society, it's fine. I like Wildcat a lot.
Wildcat's awesome.
Wildcat is the best.
And always cool when Vandal Savage comes into play.
But bro, everything that happened in this issue, including Ultra Monitor, pales in comparison to that last page.
That last page. I know. The last page reveal as...
they need more justice.
The more justice has come to Commandy.
Yep, he went to one of the other futures. He went to one of the other futures of the DC universe, and he's going to get some more help.
Yeah.
Terry fucking McGinnis.
And if he joins the battle full force, Terry McGinnis is just here now.
Oh my god, I want Batman and Terry McGinnis working together in a thing, and that's about to happen.
Terry McGinnis carrying Batman as he's flying with his jetpack and wings.
Yeah, he's gonna fucking save him. He's 100% gonna swoop in, and he's gonna be like, "Oh, hey, Bruce, you're looking good."
We can only hope. Anyways, I thoroughly enjoyed everything that's going on here because it really does feel like we're finally coming to the culmination of everything that's happening. I give this one an 8.
Yeah, I liked it quite a bit. It would be a 7 for me, but last page got an audible noise out of me, so that bumps it up to an 8.
Right? It's not like this is the first time that Terry McGinnis Batman has been the final page or something, or has just been there. But this does feel like it's a moment.
I'm ready for it. All right. Last, but certainly not least. Man, there's been so many books I forgot that we still hadn't reviewed this yet.
I know.
The 6th and final issue of House of X by Jonathan Hickman, drawn by Pepe Larraz. And all 6 issues of House of X, we still didn't get to see Professor X's face.
That's true.
Very sinister. And, we know that there's going to be some huge revelation in the last issue because on the little chart in the back, the last issue of Powers of X, or Powers of 10, is one of the other red highlighted issues.
Oh, yeah.
And why do I feel like whatever's going on with Professor X's head is going to be the big reveal?
Yeah. I wasn't even sure up until this point if Professor X could stand up without the helmet.
Interesting. Oh, right, yeah. No, but yeah, he's in Phantom X's body. It's not like ever been in Professor X's body.
Okay.
Which is weird because Proteus is using Professor X bodies anyway. It's very... the most interesting thing to me is the way that the helmet appears to be plugged into Krakoa at the beginning before X puts it on the first time.
I didn't notice that.
With all the vines running in there.
That is interesting.
Now, considering the fact that in the 2 issues ago, when we saw the flashback where Professor X was first bringing Doug Cypher to the place, yep. And we saw that little bit where Cypher touched a leaf and he left behind phalanx tech stuff that looked like it was getting into the leaf. Now I wonder if there's any way that phalanx tech has somehow made its way into the helmet, and maybe Professor X is even going to have some sort of phalanx pattern on his head. That's my prediction that I just came up with on the spot right now. Anyway,
I like it.
Most of this issue is about the trial and the mutant laws.
Mutant laws, the coming together of the Council of Krakoa, the ruling council.
Right, we meet everyone who's going to be on the council except for the last seat, which is Kitty Pryde.
Is that Red King?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Red Queen, baby.
Red Queen.
And we see the real reason narratively why the bad mutants were the ones sent on the mission to retrieve the flash drive. It's because they needed to have a bad mutant to put on trial for the scene in the book later.
Yeah.
And so, they sit in judgment of Sabretooth, but first they come up with the laws. They're okay, Sabretooth, you're here because you broke some laws that we're about to come up with.
Right, we're going to make sure you've actually broken the laws. We're going to make the laws right now, and if you've broken them, you're
sorry,
punished.
Boy. You're punished.
Yeah, you're done.
So, we'll get to the punishment in a second, but first I want to talk about how Jonathan Hickman has decided in the year 2019 that the first law of mutants is to bang.
Right?
They come up with 3 laws.
Three laws.
Murder no man, because since mutants are functionally immortal now, Professor X and all of them decide that the murder of a mutant isn't a capital offense by another mutant. But you can't bring a human back. So for a mutant to kill a human is the rule that you cannot break.
Yeah. But I mean, if you could kill a mutant, I'm sure it would probably break the first law, make more mutants, because you're making less mutants.
Look at you, you're already a mutant lawyer on Krakoa, man. And then the other law, the law of Krakoa, respects the sacred land.
Right.
Can't wait to see who's going to be breaking that law.
And how.
So Sabretooth, he's judged guilty, obviously, of murdering men.
Yep.
What do they do to Sabretooth, Sam?
Well, they stick him down in a dark place where he can't move, but he'll be aware of everything, and they leave him there forever.
That is horrible.
It really is. It was horrible when the Hulk did it to that Gamma zombie
right,
in the second issue.
He only put him 30 feet down.
Right. And they dug him back up pretty quickly.
Very true. But yeah, man, the Sabretooth falling into that abyss while Professor X monologues about what it's going to be like down there for him is horrifying.
It is horrifying. Professor X has truly become ruthless.
Truly, truly ruthless. And then we get the celebration pages, the big finale, the party on Krakoa, where Wolverine and Scott and Jean are all buddies again.
Both having fun. Jubilee's shooting fireworks everywhere.
Right. And Dazzler, she's making light explosions.
Right.
And Hank can't stop laughing. And Jean Grey and Emma Frost even make nice. Jean brings Emma a beer.
Yeah.
And Havoc's there, and he's palling up with his brother. And the only person not having a good time is Ensaba Nur.
Right.
He's brooding.
Yeah.
And the historic friendship of Professor X and Magneto is in full bloom as the fireworks spread around them. They've created mutant heaven.
They've given the humans their ultimatum.
And nothing bad will ever happen to mutants again. One issue to go.
This
is great. This was great. I'm giving it a 9.
I also give it a 9. Definitely the best.
So that's it. We did it. Thank you so much to everybody for listening. Please like and subscribe. It really helps to know that you're enjoying listening to these just as much as we're enjoying recording them. And we will be back in the very near future with even more comic reviews. So,
yes, we will.
So join us.
Now I will read to you a little bit of Superman. The world is full of contradiction. They're stupid, and they suck, and they stop you when you shouldn't be stopped, when you should be going, when you should be running and running and running and running. You're just stopped in a stupid, sucky contradiction.